Good evening. Good Saturday evening. This is Dee. More stuff to share tonight. Um, I found myself being very um, inter, when you kind of go inside yourself, self-reflection. Been doing some of that the last couple of days. That's a thing with us. Kind of go into the desert for a while, basically, and get your bearings and think over different things, what all this means specifically. Um, I did take down the Facebook page for Critical Break. I'm not going to post announcements online. So those that want to get notifications that I'm going to be streaming will need to click the little bell so they get a notification. So anyway, that crazy whole vision I had no idea at the time what it even meant. And now the more I'm reflecting on it, the more that I'm coming up with on that. There's a lot going on with that. And we're going to visit that some more this evening. And I have a feeling it's not the last stream I'm going to be doing on that. There's a lot of significance tied with the whole 2012 and many of the calendars ending in that time frame, including the Mayan calendar. A lot of people also started waking up that year, interestingly. And many of them realized that reincarnation is a thing, and we're all reincarnating right now because of that 2012 date and the calendar ending. It's all tied together. I'm sure of it. Some interesting notes before we get started on the whole Apollyon thing. Besides the Facebook page being down, one thing I want to make note of, if those of you that can, evidently the way YouTube works is the more likes a channel gets, the more often it will appear in somebody's suggested videos. So others that are seeking this information, it will pop up for them. So if you can, please remember to do that, so that others that are looking will find us. The other thing that's very interesting, my son, his DNA. I talked about my oldest daughter being a homozygous C677T. That means she's got two copies. One she got from me and one she got from her dad. My son has a copy of each of the MTHFR genetics. He's got C677T from me and A1298C from his dad, who happens to be a Reynolds. Fascinating, right? You know, this whole Apollyon rising thing. The thing that occurred to me with this whole deal is they knew we were coming. The virus. They knew we were coming. That's why they've gone to great lengths to try to destroy us before we could achieve what we're going to achieve anyway, regardless of their efforts. You know, I've talked about the virus targeting us in more ways than I can count. They target us genetically because they knew what family lines we were going to be born into. That's why I keep saying I think we reincarnate inside the same family lines. It's estimated that somewhere between 30 and 50% of the population carries that genetic code. That's why you see that much of the population becoming ill with different autoimmune disorders. All we have to do is connect some dots. It's not that hard. I just happen to have very high science reasoning skills, which aid me, plus the help of a couple of birdies on my shoulder. But to me, it's simple. They knew we were coming, and they targeted all of us. They killed a whole bunch of people trying to get at us. I watched countless in the support groups, countless fledglings ending life early because of this. But we're going to prove that that wasn't in vain because we're still going. And I'm not giving up on this. I've got that damn snake by the tail, and I'm not letting go. Not for anything. You shouldn't either. Because we do win this. So, yeah, the genetics. They've been targeting it for a long time via vaccinations, which launched the whole spectral disorder issue. Those of us that carry that genetics, we're indeed special. We're different than the rest of the people out in the population. Totally different. Not only do they carry high IQs, but they're also exceptionally gifted when it comes to spiritual and their abilities. Gifts given to those that carry that genetics by their creators. Angels earning their wings, the fledglings. Many of you are likely incarnate at this time and place for the very same reasons I am. Because that war in heaven, that spiritual war that's going on, that's a thing. I can tell you this, we're winning. And we do win. Anyway. But yeah, not posting any announcements on broadcast at all when I'm streaming. So make sure you click the little bell thingy and please like the video so others like us can find this information. Because the more of us that know this, the better. Okay? Anyway, I'm going to see how things are going in the chat. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sir William, Sir James, Miss Raven. You know, it's funny. I came across something to do with Raven recently. I'm trying to remember what that was. I got so many dots I'm connecting. Sometimes it takes me a while to go, what was that I saw? But, yeah, when your name popped up, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right. I saw something about Raven. Dealing with, I think, the whole Mary Magdalene thing. So, anyway, I hope you guys are having a really great weekend. I'm going to do a stream tomorrow, hopefully, dealing with the Rosalind Chapel. So we'll have some more fun. Tonight's going to be more in depth on the Apollyon thing and coming to understand what that all means. Has a lot to do with prophecies from the Cherokee, the Mayans, you name it, about the great dragons returning. Evidently, I'm a purple dragon, according to the code. It doesn't surprise me, because I am all about purple. Anyway, so, yeah, my son, he carries a double copy, but not of the C677T like my oldest daughter. He carries one of each. One of the C677T and one of the A1298C. So poor thing, because of that targeting, he's listening. He's starting to listen, which is good. So hopefully he won't experience, well, let's put it this way. All that crap's coming to an end soon anyway. But in the meantime, he's listening enough that hopefully he'll avoid getting really sick. Is my hope. So, yeah, they targeted us, and there is a reason. So, yeah, the you know, the way history goes, the victors or the temporary victors write the history and cover things up. And that's been going on since the ancient times. Clay tablets that were destroyed. Names, you know, I've talked about that. Names being switched around. Utter complete fabrication going on. I got some craziness going on here, guys. See this? My widow's peak growing back in. I don't know why. It keeps breaking off and then it starts growing back in. But luckily my hair grows fast, so hopefully that craziness will be over with soon. Anyway, let's take a look at Apollyon rising. Some more things that I'm connecting dots with. It's fascinating. The more we know about this, we can stop it. And I think the goddesses are key to stopping that. I've been looking at frequency and manifest destiny. You know, I talked about this. Manifesting. I manifested this. We can hack the holodeck. We're basically, it's a sort of time travel. Hacking the holodeck, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. That's a key to what we need to do. It has everything to do with love and frequency. And hacking the damn holodeck. And the goddesses can definitely do that. The others that can manifest, yeah, I've got some ideas. Anyway, you know, I saw a video. It said the most dangerous woman in the U.S. And they were talking about some of the Democrats and stuff. And I was thinking to myself, little do they know who really is the most dangerous woman in the U.S. Dangerous for the virus, anyway. So we're going to do show and tell, talk about this Apollyon rising thing a little bit more. And yeah. Miss Amy, it's good to see you. Hello, Miss Ruby. It's good to see you guys. Oh, Miss Amy, I got your note about you being sick. I'm sorry, sweetie. I hope you start feeling better. The flu's going around, so I've been extra paranoid, Miss germaphobe that I am. And I wasn't a germaphobe until I got really sick and I became a germaphobe. You have to when your immune system's totally shot, right? So well, we'll see. Says I'm behind, have to start the video over at the end. Abil said that it's gone too far for us to do it. He opened the abyss. Well, I'm of the adage, it's never too late. You know? So it's all about intent and your positive, what you're sending out. The ley lines of this planet have a lot to do with it too. Anyway, so we're going to do show and tell and talk about this a little bit. Okay? Anyway, off to the races. You guys know show and tell time. Okay. We covered this document during the last stream I did on this Apollyon rising. And in this, it talks about, I got that vision of the eights. It was a single upright 8 with an oval around it. And then it did this weird morph thing. And I'm like, what the heck is that? And then a 2 popped up in front of it. And I'm like, what is that about? Well, turns out it was about something, all right. Yeah, I'm glad I mentioned those little weird visions I get, because sometimes they're really short, small, fleeting, just blink, it's there, gone. It's like, what the hell was that? So, yeah. Anyway, it talks about Revelation chapter 11. Getting a drink of coffee. Give me a sec. I know I shouldn't be drinking coffee this late, but I couldn't stop myself. Anyway, Book of Revelation, chapter 7. Like I said, I throw out the Bible, but I also have stated there are pieces of truth in there. Not a lot, but there's some. And yeah. See, the cosmic law is they have to tell the truth mixed in with their lies. So that's what the Bible is, the result of that cosmic law. But I keep getting the words, they broke the rules. Yeah. Anyway, and it describes the two witnesses who prophesy for 1260 days before Apollo kills them, and they lie in the street in Jerusalem for 3.5 days. And this is what it says. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3.5 days, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry, and shall send gifts to one another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. And after 3.5 days, the spirit of life from God entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. Now, in here, they're stating that it's Christmas or Hanukkah. It says, it is possible that the text above is describing the two witnesses being killed during the Christmas season, because people are making merry and sending gifts to one another around the world. What other international holiday besides Christmas results in people worldwide exchanging gifts? The lexicons literally say presents to each other. The description of the two witnesses as candle stands also connects them to Hanukkah, which occurs immediately before Christmas. This strongly suggests the two witnesses are killed sometime near, but before December 25th. What's interesting is I got this vision on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day was a very active day around this place because that whole ecstasy thing and that vision. And it just happened to be Valentine's Day that I got that. And when I was reading this, I was like, Christmas, holidays, gifts. What other holidays? Well, I got the vision on Valentine's Day. And so during the stream, I was like, connecting dots while we were chatting live, basically. And the fact that I got this vision on Valentine's Day was a hint. And so that got my curiosity up. And I went back and I looked at this whole Valentine's Day thing, because I was trying to figure out, why is this connected to Valentine's Day? Why did I get it on Valentine's Day? And it was, they're thinking Christmas or Hanukkah. But let's look at Valentine's Day, celebrated worldwide. Latin America, United States, China, India, Iran, Israel, Japan, Lebanon, Malaysia, Pakistan, Philippines, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, South Korea, Taiwan, UK, Ireland, Finland, Estonia, France, Greece, Portugal, Romania, Scandinavia, Spain. In other words, worldwide. The only things left out is what appears to me would be the African nations, possibly. But I have a feeling that some of those celebrate it too. Like I said during that stream, I may be the only person on the planet besides you all that watch that stream or this one that knows possibly the real date that this is supposed to occur with the two witnesses. You know, the lost tribes are not lost. They're all found. Hmm. Anyway, this is Gnostic warriors talking about Apollyon rising. And I wanted to share this with everybody because this is from the Gnostic view of what's going on here. In Revelation 9:11, it is said, the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon, and in the Vulgate by the Latin exterminians, destroyer. We are told he is the king of the deep pit, which is the great gathering place of the dead, more commonly known as Sheol, i.e. hell, or the abyss, and the name given to the angel who with Maweth, i.e. death, stands over the 6 angels of destruction who aid God in punishment of the wicked. As the power of the prince of the air, he represents God's prosecuting angel coming out of the bottomless pit on the judgment day. It is the second of the 5th trumpet. Apollyon of Revelation has the dominion over the plague of locusts resembling horses with crowned human faces, women's hair, lion's teeth, wings, iron breastplates, and a tail with a scorpion stinger that torments for 5 months anyone who does not have the seal of God on their foreheads. Well, I have a feeling the ones with the seal of God on their foreheads are the ones that carry our genetics. C677T and A1298C. In ancient Gnostic texts, such as in the 3rd century Acts of Thomas, Abaddon is the name of a demon or the devil himself. The 2 texts that explain his role is a homily called The Enthronement of Abaddon by Pseudo Timothy of Alexandria and the Apocalypse of Bartholomew. In the homily by Timothy, Abaddon was first named Muriel and had been given the task by God of collecting the earth that would be used in the creation of Adam. Upon completion of this task, the demon angel was appointed as a guardian over the spiritual and corporeal realms, which includes the angels, demons, and corporeal entities who greatly feared him. Muriel, angel Muriel, whose name is derived from the Greek myrrh, is a domination or dominion, one of the 2nd sphere angels. I'm 3rd sphere. Abaddon is 2nd sphere. I believe you all are probably 1st sphere. Third sphere is your archangels. In Western Christian angelology, Muriel is the angel of the month of June, is associated with the astrological sign of Cancer, and is invoked from the south. It's interesting because there's been things coming up in my codes about the angel in the south. Abaddon was promised that any who venerated him in life could be saved. Abaddon is also said to have a prominent role in the Last Judgment, as the one who will take the souls to the valley of Josaphat. He is described in the Apocalypse of Bartholomew as being present in the tomb of Jesus at the moment of his resurrection. But which Jesus are we talking about? Good question, right? It's interesting to note that Apollyon the Destroyer is called the King of Hell and is appointed as an official guardian over all angels, demons, and humans, and was also present with Jesus at the moment of his resurrection. This shows that he is the most powerful angels in all Christendom, who happens to be the leader of the Gnostic and whose power was divine origin. The early church fathers ascribed to the Gnostic doctrines as a prevailing heresy and pestilential swarm of locusts, i.e., Gnostics who rule the pit of the bottomless deep, and likewise with the name of its leader, Apollyon, who represents this attack as a warlike invasion, calling its leader Iron. I'm not sure. Iron something. And with the alarm sounded by the trumpet, Justin Martyr is also represented by the same historian as ascribing this invasion to a diabolical operation. Eusebius ascribes the rise and progress of the Gnostic heresies to some serpent-like power and compares their latent mischief to that of a lurking reptile. And Tertullian, in his treatise entitled Scorpius, that is antidote against the scorpions, directly compares the Valentinians and other Gnostic teachers to scorpions, instancing the points of resemblance in the dangerous poison of a little contemptual animal, in their infinite kinds and varieties, all armed in the same manner with a tail that produced by heat. Now, this is what fascinates me. I get this vision on Valentine's Day. The world celebrates that holiday, exchanging gifts. And then we have this connection with Valentinians, right? Them giving me that vision on Valentine's Day was no accident. Jacob Bruckner, who, in his critical history of philosophy, after speaking of a sect of Oriental philosophers in the first century, adds, and when many from that sect had betaken themselves to the Christian religion and had preposterously attempted to unite their precepts to it, hence there arose two swarms of heresies, which, priding themselves in the name of Gnostics, like winged insects, went lying throughout all the churches of Asia and Africa, and contaminated the simplicity of the most holy religion with the most absurd nonsense, and continuing their progress to the Jews also, and even to the Gentiles, miserably corrupted the national philosophy of both these, invented wild and monstrous notions, confirmed and increased the wide reigning fanaticism, disseminated multitudes of spurious books, and corrupted the whole world with the very worst doctrines. Like I said, your Bible got tampered with. I'm not the only one to recognize that. I knew it instinctively as a kid. as soon as I started reading it. Looking further into the etymology of the king of hell, I found that the Hebrew Phoenician word for the English Apollo is Abdun, and is spelled normally today Abaddon, Abaddon, or Obadon, which would read in Hebrew as Abdon, place of destruction, abyss, citing Proverbs 27:20, and in the Hebrew Job 28:22. Abdun, place of destruction, and Mot, which is the Semitic word for death. Interestingly, I discovered in the theology of the Phoenicians from Sanchon Eato, blah, 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 tongue-tied. It says Mot also means mud, which some call yules, but others the putrefaction of a watery mixture. And from this sprung all the seed of the creation and the generation of the universe. Mud, right? I've also found that Abaddon is compounded with two words, Abba meaning father, papa, leader, and Don, Dan, which means Lord, Master, Chief. This is why the Savior, who was a Jew, Phoenician, told his people, the Jews, Phoenicians, in other words, ye are of your father, the devil. The Christian angel of the bottomless pit, who is known as the Antichrist, is actually the same angel of the people who had carved in stone on their temples, know thyself, and nothing in excess. The Gnostics, who we are also known anciently as the Pythia priesthood of the Delphic oracles. Now that's interesting because that shows up in my codes a lot about the Delphic oracles. Yeah. A historical man connected to this history was a Samaritan named Simon Magus, who was also called by the early church fathers as the first Gnostic and also by the surname of Satan. The word Satan is derived from the ancient Greek Satan and the Hebrew Satan, which means adversary, the accuser, to show enmity, to oppose, plot against, from root, one who opposes or obstructs. We know of Simon's, aka Satan's, adversarial followers as the Gnostics were called the sons of Satan. Let me add that another surname for Simon was Peter, a name that means father and or cock. Their historical home is the holy island of Crete at the city of Knossos, and holy mountain, Mount Ida, which is original ancient home of the Judeans, tribe of Judah, near, of all places, Samaria Gorge. This is the same locale I have identified as one of the homes of Apollo. In Homer's Iliad, in the hymn to Apollo, which Apollo himself is introduced conducting a band of Cretans who came from the city of Knossos, where he chose his first priest, whom he selected in their swift ship, were Cretans from Minos, city of Knossos, who were voyaging to sandy Pylos. In the Delphi, complete works of Dorius Siculus, he had written that Apollo has been called Lion and Lycion and Pythian, and Artemis has been called Ephesian and Cretan and Tauropolian and Persian, although both of them were born in Crete. Crete also happens to be the home of Pergamum, where Satan's throne is. Revelation 2:12. This was the ancient Cretan city of Pergamon, and home to one of the 7 churches written about by St. John in the book of Revelation. It was the original uncorrupted church, Gnostic, of Christ, that later became the seat of Antichrist or throne of Satan, and the official home of Apollo, aka Apollyon, the Delphic oracles, and his Pythia clergy of the bottomless pit. The name Pythia is derived from Pytho, which is derived from Puthian, meaning to rot, and is said refers to the sickly smell of the decomposition of the body of the monstrous python after she was slain by Apollo. After Apollo's victory over the serpent, i.e., the devil, and its rotting body were brought into subjugation in the pit, we can safely say that Apollo became the angel of the bottomless pit. For that reason, Apollo is the destroyer of chaos and evil, modern entity, and the chief Supreme Court judge of the humans who worship the devilish creation, the golden calf, in which his arrows smite these people to the place of judgment in purgatory, the abode of the souls of the dead, hell where they belong. Take a drink of coffee. This is why we find Apollo often symbolically represented holding sometimes a harp and a shield and his bow and arrows to signify his threefold power on earth, where he is named Liber Pater, in heaven, where he is called Sol's second son, and in hell, where he is styled Apollo, Apollyon. Let me add that, not surprisingly, the harp and the bow are both ancient national symbols for Crete and some of their other nations they founded, such as Ireland. If you have been looking for the Gnostic archons, they have been around since time immemorial. Apollo's harp does not represent music per se, but harmony and government, temporal and spiritual, i.e., the marriage of church and state, which brings true law and order as he uses his bow and arrow to rightfully punish the sinning creatures, locust of the earth, i.e., people, fallen angels, apostates. This is how the Masons help bring Ordo ab Chaos, and the high degrees of Freemasonry mention Apollyon, their Masonic Grand Master. In the West, we Roman Catholic Christians call the Vicar of Christ, aka the Pope, also by the name of the Father or Holy Father, and in Latin countries as Papa, who sits in the chair of Liber Pater, aka St. Peter, who was the first Pontifex Maximus. Here in the USA, we have the Pontiffs. Over in the East and in North, Orthodox Christians have their patriarchs, who are the male heads, fathers of their spiritual families, race, kin. The word is taken from the Greek patriarchs, from patria, family, plus arches, archon, meaning to rule. The head archon of 300 million Christians in the East is the em- emo- oh, my mouth doesn't want to work again. Ecumenical Patriarchate of Constantinople. That's a mouthful. Patriarch Bartholomew and the leader of the Autocephalous or Independent Orthodox Church is Patriarch Kirill. Patriarch of Moscow and all Russia. Hence, as Virgil had said, here comes the virgins and Apollo's reign. That's interesting. Here comes the virgins and Apollo's reign. Interesting, right? So, just connecting more dots. You know, you also have to remember what we read online. Some of it's the truth, some of it isn't. Then I came across this guy, Tom Horn, Apollyon Rising 2012. The final mystery of the Great Seal revealed, a terrifying and prophetic cipher hidden from the world by the U.S. government for over 200 years is here. Now, what's interesting about Tom Horn? Look at this right here. Let me make this bigger. Look at that. Where's he located? Just to my south. Coincidence? I highly doubt it. We'll read a little bit of what he's got here. It was 2 a.m. when suddenly I sat straight up in bed. A moment earlier, during REM sleep, rapid eye movement, when most dreams or night visions occur, a last piece of an important puzzle had fallen into place, shaking me from slumber. Interesting. He's getting visions, just like I do. I get them through the day too, though. But this was a night vision he got. Interesting. Springfield, Missouri. I had been wrestling with certain images and enigmatic information for years, trying to make sense of what I had found. But not until recently had something deeper troubled me. It was as if an ominous voice somewhere was ready to show me what I was finally able to receive. They're talking to him just like they do me. I don't think he totally realizes it, or if he does, he doesn't come straight out and say it because a lot of people would think he was nuts. Yeah, that's a thing. I know. Anyway, of course, I was very familiar with transcendent subject matter. I had been involved with religious institutions for more than 30 years in official capacities, including as an executive in the largest evangelical organization in the world. During that same time, I had appeared on international television and radio programs with opportunity to expand my presence to a regular audience if desired. Yet it was not until a brief stint working with exorcisms that I had come to face to face with authentic supernaturalism and had finally begun questioning the differences between indoctrination and revelation. knowledge and wisdom, religion and relationship, good and evil. It was here at last that my arrogant disposition, which had served my significant ego like a triumphant battle horse for decades, fell weak. The sword of a superb memory that had allowed me to chop down others with proof text and so called writs of fact had at once become as empty as the tomb of Jesus Christ. A man that got his foundation shook and he realized the Bible is BS, or most of it. And he had used that very thing to cut down other people that came up against him. You know how you get those religious fanatics that get into these quote wars with each other. Well, it says this, it says that, and trying to the one-upmanship that happens with people that are firm in their belief of a lie. I can tell you that. So it would seem our friend just south of me got his foundation shook. I wouldn't know until later how necessary that rebirth and change of heart and mind had been. Some of the very people I had mocked as conspiratorial had turned out to be closer to understanding these enigmatic truths than I ever had. Native, nativity and blind acceptance, especially of specific controlled versions of American history, had kept me in the dark, blinded from the actual course that a frightening network of hidden powers had set our nation upon years before. Then came the angel in the whirlwind, and pieces of the puzzle began rapidly falling into place. Things were making sense now. World affairs, changes to U.S. domestic and foreign policy, a renewed focus on the Middle East, Israel, Iran, Iraq, Babylon. And I found it astonishing. The words, deeds, gestures, and coded language of the world's most powerful men clearly pointed to an ancient, prophetic, cryptic, and even terrifying reality. As outlined in this series of articles based on my upcoming new book, Apollyon Rising 2012, the final mystery of the Great Seal revealed, a terrifying and prophetic cipher hidden from the world by the U.S. government for over 200 years is here, and startling truths behind the clandestine society that helped frame the United States and placed within the Great Seal a prophetic secret doctrine can finally be understood. What even the best researchers of the Illuminati and veiled fraternities, such as the Freemasons, were never able to fully decipher is spelled out herein for the first time. The power at work behind global affairs and why current planetary powers are hurriedly aligning for a new order from chaos is exposed. Perhaps most incredibly, one learns how ancient prophets actually foresaw and forewarned of this time. One caution: if you are a person that is happy living in the matrix, cradled in the warm embrace of illusions, I recommend that you lay this study aside and enjoy the remaining days uninformed. Unfortunately, that's most of the population, uninformed. They're all expecting a male to come save them. And as I showed you, the true prophecy is it's a female. It's the Omega. I wonder if he knows this. But if, like the millions of others around the world, you have recently awakened with a sense that something foreboding is unfolding on Earth, then this information is for you. If you believe that a global event, which so far nobody has been able to clearly explain, is on the horizon, this information is for you. If you feel whatever is happening is both physical and spiritual, yet you cannot solve the conundrum of what is stirring beneath the surface, this information is for you. If you hunger to discern the meaning behind the raging turmoil recently enveloping nature, societies, and global politics, this information is for you. But prepare yourself for an unexpected, including truly startling and often discomforting information, which you have not heard or read anywhere before. What has been hidden in plain sight for more than 200 years is preparing to reveal itself to humanity. And it's not one thing he doesn't understand. He's focusing on it being hidden in the US government seals, but this information has been hidden for eons. The tampering with the ancient text has everything to do with this. Everything. The fact that all the Catholics and all the Christians are worshiping. Remember the 2888, what it means. There's two coming. Two. One's a female. The other one's a male. Many believe that that male may be the French president. Interesting, his name, Emmanuel Macron. Possibility, huh? Just because of that first name. Just connecting dots in my head. The clock is ticking and the hand is closer to midnight than most can comprehend. Yeah, it is. Something wicked this way comes. The occult desire of the ages is here. I want you to understand the secret. You will know what you have to do to survive. Summoning the angel from the whirlwind. Some of the biggest men in the United States in the field of commerce and manufacture are afraid of something. They know that there is a power somewhere, so organized, so subtle, so watchful, so interlocked, so complete, so pervasive, that they had better not speak above their breath when they speak in condemnation of it. Woodrow Wilson. The real rulers in Washington are invisible and exercise power from behind the scenes. U.S. Supreme Court Justice Felix Frankfurter. This goes on, and I do plan to talk about this a lot more because things have been set into motion for a purpose. It has everything to do with enslaving humans permanently. One of the people that I feel a big connection with, Miss Mac, she was talking about some of this in comments. And I agree with her. I should pull up her comments and read those to you guys. So we're going to do that. We're going to find her comments and we're going to read them because you guys need to know these. I'm going to check the chat before I read them real quick. Yeah, Krill went to Antarctica and Arca Gabriel. Yeah, that's my understanding. The Arca Gabriel was taken to Antarctica. I believe there's a pyramid there, and I believe there's a ship there too. Hello, Miss Norma. It's good to see you. Anyway, all this leads into something. Let me pull this up because these comments were amazing. Okay, let me see if I can find them all. Miss Mac. Okay. Okay. Come on, bring up the comments. Okay. These were comments that she made under my first Apollyon Rising Vision to 888. And, oh, I've got some more that are sitting in review too. I'll have to go look at those. Anyway, yeah. She made some very good comments here. I see the 32 on the eagle, 3, the triune aspects of mankind against the 2, the dual nature of man. There is a battle between the two. Different worlds will emerge, whether you follow the Trinitarian aspect or one of duality. Another comment. Okay, we have 3 systems inside: intellect, brain, third eye, heart, emotion, fourth chakra, and gut instinct, the second chakra, or body, mind, and spirit. When accepted, our world will change from one of duality to spirituality. Yeah. And then she says, you get it? Question mark. The 3 over the 2. Winston Churchill showing us the 2 fingers. And then she also wrote, okay, I had the urge to sage my house a couple of days before Valentine's Day. They celebrate that date so people make love and then babies get born ready for Halloween's sacrifices. Conception dates. Then I was too busy and forgot about Valentine's Day saging until it popped back up into my head on February 23rd, the day you made this video, right? Synchronicity, right? So I sage on the 23rd on the same day. I find a video explaining how they do sacrifices on the 23rd in Rome in some church via that Kevin Arnett channel. They are doing fire and water rituals when we ought to burn incense to the air sign, coming in the age of the H, heir to the heavenly throne, Aquarius, and the fulfillment of the holy fixed cross 2012 was the end of the Kali Yuga, and we are in the age of Archangel Michael. Yep. Who is altering our DNA via the cosmic rays and the solar radiation. That's what the chemtrails are all about. Partially. Like I said, the chemtrails, they're multi-purpose. Yeah. Anyway, those comments were dead on. So yeah, we're gonna dig some more into this whole Apollyon thing. In my codes, Apollo, Apollyon, and all this, earth, water, air, fire has been coming up in the codes all the time recently. Also something about repeating King David 1018 times, which I did do today, actually. Not sure what that does. Be interesting if anybody knows. Let me know. Put it in the comments section under the video or something. What's the significance of saying King David 1018 times? So more dot connecting with this whole Apollyon thing. But one thing I do know, creators, manifest destiny. This right here, this right here proves that we can change any damn thing we want to, regardless of what anybody else says. Fact. I do plan to change things and free the souls that have been trapped and enslaved. I keep hearing that there's supposed to be some sort of harvest. Not on my watch. FYI. A harvest. Anyway, tomorrow we're going to take a break from the whole Apollyon BS. Yeah, manifest destiny. It's a thing. Hacking the Matrix, the holodeck. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Roslyn Chapel. Look at the beautiful pictures and some very, very interesting things about that place. You guys will be fascinated. I know I have been, and I'm not even done looking at it. And I've been totally wow. Wowed. Completely wowed. I do hope you guys have an awesome evening. I hope you sleep really well. Wake up bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and ready for this. Because we do win. I guarantee it. Love you guys. Way past the stars and back. Way. more times than you could ever possibly conceive or count. That's what this mission's about. Freeing the souls on this planet that have been enslaved by the virus. Anyway, tons of love. Infinite terra. Do a little meditating before you go to bed tonight. Ask why. Why? Because when you're asking WHYYHWH, you're asking gods, multiple, the good ones. Why? Ask why while you're meditating. Kyrie eleison. The music. Sing and dance. Keep that joy. Even though some of this material seems dark, we need to know it. Because you need to know what we're dealing with so we can undo their plans. Anyway, have a fantastic night. I will see you guys tomorrow with Rosalind Chapel. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.